I realised something this week. If I want to make this work, then I've got to make it feel like work. Not in a bad way, but in a way that matters to me. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Matt and I work as a wellbeing and personal development coach, and I've kind of turned the tables on myself recently in that I've set myself a challenge to try and attain as many of my goals as possible in the next 9 months. I'm not shooting for the stars, it's just the things that are important to me. And I'm trying to document it all on this channel. Things are falling into a bit of a rhythm in that I seem to be getting out of what I can only describe as holiday mode. It might have taken me a wee while. Friends might be going, yep, you've been in holiday mode too long. But when you leave work the way that I did, or when you do some kind of early retirement or anything like that, you're losing the structure of that paid employment. You're losing the structure of the 9 to 5, going into the office, all that kind of thing. I'm having to find that structure myself. And this is why I'm saying that I need to start approaching it like work. It needs to feel like work, so that when I get up in the morning, I know I'm going to work, rather than just thinking I'm going to do something because it's interesting or anything like that. And it's not that what I do isn't interesting, it's just I've got to find that bit of structure that will help me actually achieve and succeed. In a bit, we'll look at how I'm getting on. I'm using the Wheel of Life to track progress. But first of all, I started the week having breakfast in the van. Yep, somebody wandered by. Yep, one in, one out. I think you're only allowed to walk down the river one at a time. It's only 9:30 in the morning and I've been all over the place already. Up early to get to the gym, drop some stuff off at the storage unit. Forgot something, that was a classic, forgot something, so I'm having to rearrange a few other things. Pick stuff up over to the house, and now I'm heading out to drop something else off. Oh yeah, and I've just fitted in breakfast. The way the morning's gone has got me to thinking that it's just as well I'm trying to sort out something to do with structure, because that's exactly what this morning has ended up doing. It's pushing the flexibility of the structure that I'm trying to have in my life to get things doing, or get things going. And this morning is a great example of having to have flexibility. Not only was I out at the gym and then picking stuff up from the storage unit, then I'm heading out again, and I forgot the one thing that I really needed. The one thing. And I've had to go all the way back to the house, pick it up, and now I'm here, and I've decided to do a bit of a video here just now as well. But it got me thinking more about what the goals actually mean has been a lot more difficult than I've realised. And one of the things that I think that I've got to look at is, well, why do I want certain things in place? I think that what I'm looking for is focus, and the structure is just one of the things that will be a support to help me have focus. I'll give you an example. Yesterday morning, I was taking the last of the ply out of the van. I was away in a merry wee world. I was thoroughly enjoying it. In flow, as we would say, in the flow. The phone went, and it was my son. And he was telling me, one of our cats, the older of the two Fudge, that he was struggling to climb up to the bathroom windowsill, which is one of his favourite sunny spots. And all of a sudden it was like, the van went out the window. I was like, what can I do for the cat? What can I do for my son? And not just what can I do for my son, but like, how do I keep him from getting too upset? He's 21, he should be able to cope. But suddenly, that was the main priority. Now, when I thought about it, there was nothing much I could do. Our cat, unfortunately, occasionally has wee fits, and that's what had actually happened. He'd had a wee fit, and he was gathering himself around, so he was okay. But all of a sudden, my focus went to that, and everything else had stopped. And when I actually thought about it, that's the way I've been for a long time. My focus is on whatever comes up in that moment, no matter how important or sometimes not so important. If I'm wanting to do these videos, run my own business, get out, explore the wee micro adventures and what have you that I like doing, I need that structure to be flexible, but I need it also to allow me to focus. And I need to focus, I need to work more on that focus. I need to work more on being able to step back and recognise that. In coaching, I talk a lot about being aware of how you're actually feeling. When it comes to something like stress, over the years, built it up so that I now recognise when stress is coming on. I think I need to do that for when my focus is slipping, which is a strange thing because awareness is part of focus, if you like. But I need to do it for that as well. Because if I can do that, I've got more chance of bringing myself back, well, back to the moment, which is very mindful. But I've got more chance of bringing myself back into what I'm supposed to be doing at that time. Realising when the focus is slipping, realising when prioritisation is out the window. That is something I definitely need to work on. I'll tell you something that's been nice though. Coming here for breakfast, sitting here in a nice sunny morning, surrounded by the trees and the greenery and what have you. It's a reasonably popular place, but it's relatively quiet. I might be coming here again. So how have I got on this week? Well, things are levelling out. A lot of the scores on the Wheel of Life seem to be coming to roughly the same numbers. And that's something that going forward I'm going to have a bit of a look at and see if there's something that's more of a priority or that I just need to look at in a bit more detail. Sleep seems to be turning around, and for the strangest of reasons. I have a habit of when my wife goes to bed, which is normally quite early because she goes to bed, or she gets up quite early, that I then watch YouTube. And it's not just for an extra hour, it can be an extra 2-3 hours, and I end up getting very little sleep. As a bit of I suppose, a radical move, I agreed to help my son by picking him up from his new job, which finishes at 10 at night. Now, you might wonder, why is that helping my sleep? Well, very simply, it means that if I pick him up at 10, we're back in the house for about 10:30. I don't want to go upstairs. I want to go to bed. So in doing that, it's helping me to break that bad habit. Now, that's not going to last forever, but I'm hoping that it at least gives me that bit of momentum to allow me to start getting to bed at a reasonable time. So I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing with sleep just now. That seems to be working for me. Going through the scores themselves, the fitness and stamina, that stayed the same at 4. That feels a bit right, and it's something I can keep working on. I'm still going to the gym. I need to do a bit more cardio, but it's something that will progress. It's not going to change overnight. The focus and brain fog, well, that's improved in that the score's gone up. It was 5, it's gone up 1 to 6. And I think that's partly because the sleep has improved as well. Stress, that's the same, that's staying at a 5. Again, the sleep is probably helping with that as well. Structure has stayed the same, and that's a score of 3. And that's not brilliant. I need to improve on that, but I've been working on it a lot. And as I say elsewhere in this video, structure is almost just a label for me. There's so many other things that are connected with it. Weight and nutrition, unfortunately, I put a little bit of weight back on, so that's gone down 1. That's something I need to improve, but I'm confident that I will. The last one, and the biggest improvement, is sleep. That's gone up from 2 last week to 4 this week. I really feel that is something that's improved for the reasons I've given. They might be strange reasons, but they're working for me. So what am I going to be doing over the next week? Well, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing as far as sleep is concerned. I'm going to build a bit more awareness around weight and being a bit more mindful about what I'm eating. Not in a way as in spending time eating it and tasting it and what have you, but being more conscious of, rather than just reacting to, I'm hungry, I'll have a sandwich, being a bit more mindful that way, because I think that will help with the weight as well. And then the structure. Now, a friend pointed out to me, and quite rightly, I'm talking a lot about structure, but what about discipline? And I thought about it because, yeah, discipline comes into this quite a bit. But then I thought, I know it does, but it's a bit like before I talked about structure, I was thinking about routine. And with that goes self-regulation as well. And the more I think about it, the more that all of them work together. They're all different facets of something that's very, very similar. And that's why I'm using structure more as a shorthand. It's a label for what I'm trying to achieve. But they're all equally important, and they all help in different ways. If we look at structure, we can think of it as going into the office or a school timetable. It helps us, it supports us, it takes away to a certain extent a certain amount of decision fatigue, as in where should we be, what should we be doing right now. It gives a certain amount of predictability and shape to our day and our week. And it can be designed around our goals and energy levels. So structure is a good thing that way. Routine is more the repeated actions, like me going to the gym. I go to the gym on a Tuesday morning, Thursday morning, Saturday morning. Have been doing for years. That's just a routine. If I was to choose each week when I was going to go or at what time during the day, I know me, I wouldn't go, or I would only go half the time. But this is the routine of me going to the gym is pretty much set in stone now. What that helps with is it helps us build momentum, particularly when we're starting a new habit. Me, for instance, with the trying to get a better sleep habit, breaking the old routine of going upstairs and watching YouTube is one of the things that will help me get a momentum going as far as getting to bed early. So it's really useful when we're trying to create new habits. Discipline comes into its own when motivation starts to fade, particularly when those inner voices or external voices sometimes, they start to nag you that maybe you're making the wrong decisions, or are you sure that's what you want to do? Those things that, for instance, when you're wanting to get up to go to the gym and it's a horrible, wet, cold morning, discipline really kicks in there, because your voices, your body, everything, your mind is screaming out, no, I'll go tomorrow when it's not so bad. But you know you need to. You know that's the time when that's the time that's most important for you to go. And that's where discipline really kicks in. The last of the four is self-regulation. Now, self-regulation, if you've ever done the VIA character strengths test, you'll see that self-regulation is one of the character strengths. And for myself and a number of other people, it scores very, very low. I'm not great with self-regulation. And that's one of the things that when you look at it, self-regulation comes into our reactions to when, for instance, when things become emotional, and our reaction to something bad happening might be to have a drink or comfort eat. That self-regulation, improving on that, helps us get a balance. It helps us get that management of the more reactionary parts of how we live. So where does this leave me? Well, I think that I'll still be using the word structure, because just now I'm using it as a label to mean all of those different things. And this is an interesting thing that's happening, that slowly, as I'm going through this process of trying to attain my goals by 9 months, my own vocabulary of what those goals mean to me, my own understanding of what my values actually are, whether it be in that moment or going forward. But that vocabulary, the words I use to describe them, gets better and better, and therefore more effective at me trying to achieve what I'm trying to achieve. And especially in a situation I am where I've left work, I now don't have that structure of a work environment, then that's new to me. So I'm having to relearn how things go. And the fact that I didn't know it in itself is new to me, because sometimes maybe you're like it yourself, but sometimes when these bigger changes happen, you just assume that you know how to keep going on, the momentum is there, but maybe it changes too much, and that's when that momentum can start to fade. And that's one of the reasons why not only am I still going to use structure, but that I'm realizing that I'm having to create a structure that is more like work, so that the things I'm doing in as nice a possible way, they are still the things that I want to do, that I value, that I get real pleasure out of, but I now need to look at it that it's a working environment. I've got that structure of the working day, and that's helping me a lot. Just using that very word, and there we are again, the use of words. So like structure means a whole load of things, even though it's only one word, it's a label, it means lots and lots of things, it's a shorthand. Me using the word work instead of saying, oh, I'm going out to make a video. In my head, it seems to change it, it seems to validate it. And that seems to make the motivation that bit easier. It seems to make the actually achieving it that bit easier as well. Don't forget to check the website, thatnotion.com, for details about the newsletter and information on what's happening with the check-in sessions, which are going to be starting very shortly. And if there's anything in the video that's resonated with you, please feel free to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel. And if there's any words in particular that you have found yourself using, or phrasing, or a way of describing things with shorthand, like just a word, please feel free to stick them in the comments underneath. I like seeing these things, I love reading them, and it gives me ideas as well. See you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Bye.